I love Japan, everything from the matcha, the sushi, and the vintage shopping. But I have made a few rookie travel mistakes over the years, like trying to top up my train card with no cash left, or almost spending $140 on a tin of matcha. So in this video, I'm sharing 5 travel money mistakes I made in Japan so you can avoid them too. These tips will help you save time, money, and help you make the most out of your next trip to Japan. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Queenie and I'm a licensed personal finance creator. And I'm here to help you make your money go further so you can spend guilt-free on your next trip to Japan. So whether this is your first trip to Japan or you're going back for round 3, I hope these travel tips will help you avoid some of the travel mistakes that I made and save you some yen along the way. This video is kindly sponsored by Airalo, who is the eSIM provider that I use and who also kindly invited me on this trip. But I'll talk more about them later in this video and also give you a 20% discount code. So let's dive in. My first mistake was not bringing my passport with me when I go shopping. So technically this didn't happen to me in Japan, but it actually happened to me in Europe. I was at a designer outlet store and I found the perfect jumper, but unfortunately I forgot to bring my passport. So when I got to the counter, they told me that I could get a tax refund, but only if I brought my passport with me. I still bought the jumper, but I could have saved a lot of money by bringing my passport. Now the good news is if you're shopping in Japan and you spend over 5,000 yen, which is around 50 Australian dollars, many shops will give you a tax refund instantly, often with no airport queues, no paperwork, and an instant refund. When you get to the airport, you still usually need to declare that you have purchased some items tax-free, and you may need to show them to customs on your way out, so make sure that you put them in your carry-on bag. But at least you're not stuck in a massive line like in Europe, and you get your money back straight away. Although one thing to note though is Japan is actually overhauling their tax-free shopping system from the 1st of November 2026, which means unfortunately you may not be able to get your tax refund directly at the place that you purchase your item, and you may need to get it back at the airport, which is more similar to the process in Europe. But the silver lining is you can still shop tax-free in Japan. Just make sure you bring your passport with you when you go shopping. So my second mistake was buying a SIM card or using expensive data roaming fees. The first time I traveled to Japan, I was tired and I was jet lagged after a 10-hour flight from Sydney. And the last thing that I wanted to do when I landed in Tokyo was line up at a random airport kiosk to buy a SIM card, only to find it overpriced or worse, closed. These days I use Airalo eSIMs, who are also the kind sponsor of today's video. Airalo is an app where you can buy eSIMs on your phone from multiple different countries, which means you can have data when you land in a new country with no physical SIM card needed. Before I go on any trip, a few days before, I go on the Airalo app and I buy an eSIM card, and I install it so that way when I land in a new country, I'll have data. So I don't have to pay $5 or $10 a day in expensive data roaming fees, and there's no physical SIM card needed. In Japan, you can get a 15-day eSIM card for $10.50, and it honestly works so well. Plus, topping up your eSIM is super easy through the app. And to give you a price comparison, so let's say for example you have $5 a day international roaming fees and you use it for a 15-day trip. For the 15-day trip, you'll spend $75 in total, which is a lot of money when you could have paid just $10.50 with Airalo instead. So definitely avoid the trap of data roaming fees. And if you would like to try Airalo for yourself, you can use my code Queenie20 for 20% off your first Airalo eSIM for June and July. I have a link in the description below. I always recommend Airalo, especially if you want to use Google Maps, Translate, or Uber when you land. My third mistake was buying a physical train card ticket and then running out of cash in Japan. So picture this, we were just coming back from visiting a beautiful shrine in Kyoto. We just bought some magnets as souvenirs and we were feeling really good about ourselves until we got to the train station and realized that we only had 200 yen left, which was not enough to charge our Suica card or go to the Nishiki markets. We went to the machines to try and top up our tickets, only to realize that they only accept cash. But luckily at the station, someone told us that you can actually add your card to Apple Wallet and recharge your card from Apple Wallet. This was a total game changer. Not only could we recharge our transport card instantly using Apple Pay, but when we added it to Apple Wallet, we actually got 500 yen instantly. I think it's a bonus for adding your transport card to your phone. So you just need to go to your iPhone wallet, transit card, and then select Suica. And like I said, when we added it to our Apple Wallet, we actually got 500 yen for free. So we didn't even need to top up in the end. Now I just use my phone whenever I'm taking the metros in Tokyo and even Kyoto, and it's honestly just so much easier than having to bring a physical card. And there are lots of other transport cards that you can download on your phone through Apple Wallet all around the world. So this doesn't just apply in Japan. And if you're finding this video useful, I would really appreciate a like and subscribe to this channel. Mistake number 4 is not checking prices before you buy. We were at a nice matcha cafe in Japan and we were buying a matcha latte. But then we saw that they were also selling matcha powder, which we really wanted to bring home as a souvenir. When we got to the register, it said that our total was 14,223 yen. My brain thought that it was fine, but something in me wanted me to check the price in Australian dollars just to see how much it actually was. So I quickly pulled out my phone and converted the price, and it was over $150. So I put the matcha powder back and I only bought my matcha latte, which was only $8. Later that day, we went to a department store and bought a smaller tin of matcha for only $16. So something that I always do whenever I travel is I just get the iPhone calculator up and I calculate the prices in my home currency just to make sure that I'm not overpaying for something. And fun fact about matcha, did you know that there's actually a matcha shortage around the world? This is because the popularity of matcha has really just surged this year. So Japan is actually struggling to keep up with the demand. When we were in Tokyo and we bought that tin of matcha from the department store, a lot of the other varieties were completely sold out. And even when we went back to the same store a few hours later, they were completely sold out of the one that we bought. So that's something to keep in mind if you are looking to go to Japan and buy some matcha. So the lesson here is to always convert the currency before you buy something. And you can do it really easily in the iPhone calculator. So let me just show you. So you simply go here, convert, and then here you can choose your currency, for example, Japanese yen. And let's say, for example, 14223. You can see that it's over $150 in Australian dollars. So my fifth mistake is overpacking, but then only wearing the same outfits. In Japan, especially when you're traveling around Japan and between cities on public transport, packing less is definitely the way to go. Finding a lift isn't always easy, and nobody likes carrying around extra baggage. These days, I always plan to pack a capsule wardrobe for every trip. A really easy capsule wardrobe method is to bring 4 tops, 4 bottoms, 2 outerwear, and 2 pairs of shoes. And just with these 12 items of clothing, you can create 64 different looks. It's important to stick to mainly neutral colors so each piece mixes and matches easily. And if my trip is longer than a week, I still stick to the 12 items of clothing, and then I just do some washing halfway through. Packing cubes are also an amazing way to keep you organized on your trip, so you're not rummaging through your suitcase looking for underwear or socks, and everything is neatly organized. I was super lucky that Aerolo actually gifted me some personalized packing cubes for this trip. I also like using ChatGPT to help me create a packing list for my trip so I don't forget anything. So for example, let me ask ChatGPT for a packing list. I'm going on a 15-day trip to Japan. I want to bring a capsule wardrobe and do washing halfway through. Can you please help me create a packing list? I'm going with myself, my partner, and my baby. So as you can see, ChatGPT has helped me create a super personalized packing list for my 15-day trip to Japan. And don't forget, if you would like to try Aerolo for yourself, you can use my code Queenie20 for 20% off your first Aerolo eSIM for June and July. I've got a link in the description below. And your secret word today is matcha. So write us a comment below with the word matcha in it so we know you watched this video all the way through. Thank you. Bye.